I recently had a client who tried alternate day fasting for 4 weeks and it really didn't work out for him. He did lose weight, but he felt like he lost muscle mass. When it came to working out in the gym, he had kind of like low energy in the gym and he just was tired all the time. See, his main goal was to lower his body fat and actually maintain his muscle mass, if not put on muscle. He was like a 45-year-old guy, but he was in a real hurry to lose the body weight. But he was already relatively lean. He was about 22 to 25% body fat, but he really wanted to get down to like 10, 12% body fat and see his abs. And we talked about all different fasting and diet strategies, but he was in a real hurry. So he really wanted to try this alternate day fasting. So he fasted for 24 hours, took in no calories at all. He did drink liquids. He had some green tea. He loved green tea, and he drank a lot of water. And then the next day, he just would eat normally. And I really did like his diet because he was working with me in the past. He's been coming to my gym like 3 days a week for about a year. And he was eating like a low-carb, whole natural food diet, just a diet that I really like. He was taking an adequate amount of protein, about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So he was 170 pounds. He was taking in about 170 grams of protein. He kept his carb relatively low. He was taking in 400 to 600 calories, 100 to 150 grams of carbohydrates every day, but he was eating good, whole, natural foods. And he started this alternate day fasting, hoping that he would lower his body fat and maybe even increase his muscle mass, but it just did not work out. He just was tired and he actually lost muscle mass. See, normally when I would put someone on, say, an alternate day fasting strategy where they would eat every other day, these people were generally overweight people. These are people who had like metabolic syndrome. They had high blood pressure. Maybe they had fatty liver disease. Maybe they had like insulin resistance. They wanted to increase their insulin sensitivity besides losing weight, because there were so many studies out there talking about how effective alternate day fasting is for losing weight and also for like increasing your insulin sensitivity, for lowering blood pressure, for lowering cholesterol. But when it comes to someone who is already relatively lean, like my client, I don't think it was the best approach for him. Because first of all, when you want to maintain muscle mass or increase muscle mass, I think it's a better idea to take in protein every single day. See, what I really wanted him to do was to do more of a strategy like I do, like do maybe an 18-6, where you fast for 18 hours every day, taking all your calories with just a 6-hour eating window. So you're taking in protein every single day. Or he could have done a 16-8, something along the lines of that. But he was so hurried to lose the weight, he wanted to try this alternate day fasting. But when things don't go right, like for myself and my clients, I always like to look at the new research to see if there's any new studies out there. And I actually found a study about alternate day fasting that kind of fit exactly into my client's situation. This is a study that just came out talking about alternate day fasting on lean individuals. Like I said earlier, most of the studies in alternate day fasting are people who are overweight, they're obese, they're pre-diabetic. But this was one of the first studies on lean individuals. And they compared alternate day fasting to calorie restriction, like just restricting calories, to see what works better. And this is what this study showed. First of all, they took the participants and they split them up into 3 groups. One group just restricted calories. They restricted calories by 25%. The next group did like an alternate day fasting, kind of similar to what my client did, where they would fast for 24 hours and then the next day they would eat 150% of their normal calories. So they were in the same calorie restricted state as the group 1, who was restricting calories by 25%. And then they even threw in a third group who would alternately fast every other day, but they ate 200% of their calories. So they didn't restrict calories at all. And this is what this study showed. It showed that they all lost weight, but the people who just restricted calories, who ate every single day, did the best, lost the most body fat, and maintained the muscle mass the best. Better than alternate day fasting and calorie restriction, better than just alternate day fasting without calorie restriction. And then the researchers looked into it a little further, and they say that the people, now these are lean individuals, keep in mind, similar to my client, the people that actually restricted calories and alternate day fasted, ate every other day, did have lower energy. They weren't as, they didn't move around. They weren't as physically active as they typically would be, which is really interesting. See, I think the big takeaway from this study compared to other studies in alternate day fasting is that this study was on lean individuals. See, in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits of alternate day fasting is that it keeps insulin levels incredibly low for that 24 to 36 hour period, which is really amazing for like reversing insulin resistance, like increasing your insulin sensitivity, reversing like metabolic syndrome type things. Like it helps with pre-diabetes. It helps lower blood pressure. It helps lower triglycerides, like it helps lower cholesterol. It helps lower inflammatory markers. But if you're already on the lean side, like my client was, I think you're better off going with a different fasting strategy. I'd much rather you do, or you could, I mean, you could do a 24-hour fast maybe once or twice a week, something like that, but I still would rather you go with more of an 18-6 or a 16-8. See, if your main goal is to lower your body fat, but at the same time, maintain or even increase your muscle mass, you do want to take in protein, in my opinion, every single day. So what I did going forward with my client is we switched them over to a 16-8 fasting strategy. We fasted for 16 hours, took in all his calories within an 8-hour eating window. He still ate that whole natural food diet with an adequate amount of protein. It took about 2 or 3 weeks and he started feeling great. His energy came back, his strength came back in the gym. He was able to lower his body fat. I don't think he reached that 10-12%, but he lost about 7 or 8 pounds. He was really healthy and he really felt great. Maybe there was even a rebound effect from him trying that alternate day fasting that made him feel so good when he went back to like a normal 2-3 meals a day with an 8-hour eating window. So give it a try. If you're already lean and you want to get leaner, try like a 16-8 or an 18-6. If you want to learn more about those fasting strategies, check out this video. I got a video explaining how to do 16-8 perfectly to lower your body fat, improve your health, and maintain your muscle mass.